Thank God it's Friday. Monday's a brand new start. Wednesday, you're halfway home, and Thursday, the weekend's not far. Saturday and Sunday, you hang with your friends. What can you say about Tuesday? Nothing, not a damn thing. Tuesday bites, Tuesday sucks, Tuesday blows, go away. Tuesday's crap, Tuesday's lame, Tuesday's dumb, go away. Tuesday, Saturday and Sunday, you hang with your friends. What can you say about Tuesday? Nothing.
You should have stayed home.
I'm good. I'm better.
You're in here hacking up along, man.
I'm better than I was yesterday.
Yeah, Gene's back, but not 100%. But we'll struggle. We'll get through it. My cough is much better, but I have this ear issue that's lingering. I went too hard at it on Sunday with the Q-tips, and yesterday my ear was like, "Nah, bro, we're not doing anything except hurting." A lot of pain yesterday all day.
That
a lot
might
of
have been a
Advil.
little self-inflicted. Is that what?
Yeah. I've always had an issue with Q-tips. I'm always in there with the Q-tips, and
Take a break there.
a little aggressive on
Save
Sunday,
it.
I think.
Take a
So,
break.
but it's working its way back. Much less painful today than it was yesterday. Donuts in town. Jake's here as well. Very excited for that.
I know you are.
Stayed up way past my bedtime last night. They got the train pulled into town about 5 minutes past 8. And then we had to get him over to the hotel, get him checked in, and then, get home and all that stuff. So still not a full night's sleep, but much better than on Sunday nights, and feeling better today. But you're still under the
Well,
weather.
ain't nobody got time for this. I do not have time for this, but I kind of felt it coming on over the weekend. And
All right.
yeah, I got it. I got a rally here. I got graduation is Friday night. I got 3 parties to go to on Saturday. I got to make a trip to Costco up in Rochester this weekend. I've got family visiting in town. I got a rally here. And kind of a gloomy day, though. Rain, huh? I mean, this is it.
Today and tomorrow, yeah, which is nice because I don't have to water the lawn, and it gives me an excuse not to mow it either.
Strong winds, though. They're saying if you're driving a semi-truck, that today could be challenging for you. Gusts up to 45 miles an hour.
Yesterday was pretty bad as well in the afternoon. It just kind of kicked up, and everything was blowing around. And rain likely today throughout the area. More showers tomorrow, then drying up on Thursday and Friday and getting a little bit warmer as we head into the Memorial Day weekend. Might see the 70s by Monday, but today we've got Grant Bills joining us just after 8 o'clock from the Wisco Sports Show, talking, obviously, Wisconsin sports. What's new on New Release Tuesday, all sorts of other stuff as well, like bad news, happy music. Get to our daily check-ins. You can find all of our contact info online at rockmornings.com. Head there for the show. You can listen to it live, our daily podcast, and as I mentioned, all of our contact info on there as well. Sleep Token, some AC/DC coming up in just a bit.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene, an absolutely insane story out of Platteville as 2 kids are dead. University of Wisconsin in Platteville, 2 students dying in an incident yesterday. The email sent to the entire campus. The chancellor down there identified the students as Kelsey Martin and Hallie Helms. It is with deep sadness that we mourn the loss of 2 UW Platteville students, Kelsey Martin, 22, from Beloit, Wisconsin, and Hallie Helms, 22, of Baraboo, Wisconsin. This incident was a targeted and isolated event between the 2 individuals. Families of the students have been notified. So, murder-suicide?
I mean,
that's
just tragic, awful.
When you hear targeted and isolated event between the 2 individuals, so no one else there, so that's my assumption right away. I have no idea, but the incident happening at Wilgus Hall, police said there's an ongoing and active investigation. No other info about the incident released, but they, of course, shelter in place for a little while. And
yeah, they received emergency information on their devices yesterday telling them to avoid campus and to shelter in place, and then it was lifted a little bit later, and it was an isolated incident. But in the dorms, they've canceled or moved or extended finals that were supposed to be happening this week. Yeah.
Off.
Yes.
Elsewhere, Perot State Park, the superintendent there, Justin Wersoffen.
Is this the bridge that was burnt?
Telling people they're planning to rebuild the bridge on the Great River State Trail that burned on Friday. The bridge over Tank Creek, part of the trail that runs between Onalaska and Trempealeau. It's about 3 miles east of Trempealeau. He said the bridge is a total loss. Even the piers that were supporting the former railroad bridge need to be replaced. Nobody injured. Photos provided by Wersoffen show the bridge fully engulfed in flames on Friday. Another picture displays the blackened timbers of the bridge at the far end. The timber's still smoldering, but it's quite I didn't realize how big it was. I thought it was a little bit shorter, but the fire happened on state land. That means DNA wardens are the primary investigators trying to track down how it started and who may be responsible, if anybody. But
yeah, that looks like it was a complete and total loss. That fire was huge, and quite a span of that trail, that state trail, that will impact, obviously, people who are planning to travel on it this summer at all.
DNR will need to find funding sources to replace the bridge. Money also needs to include the cost of removing the old one. Timeline not yet discussed. Obviously, this just happened less than a week ago. For now, the trail will remain open on both Onalaska and Trempealeau ends. Signs posted along the trail and now on the Great River Trail's website informing users about the bridge closure. But awful. Yeah, losing that bridge. Complete loss, too. Theater Road, Onalaska, always an issue, especially, the intersection. McDonald's.
Target,
all that stuff over there. They're going to apparently put a roundabout there, which I don't think is going to be, I don't think that's going to help at all. I'm not a fan of roundabouts already, but there's so much goddamn traffic there that can you imagine how hard it's going to be to get in and out of there?
Well, what's there right now barely works.
Right. I don't see a roundabout being any better, because if you've driven on any of the roundabouts that they installed in La Crosse the last couple of years,
I drive on them all the time.
So do I.
Yeah.
I live on the south side. People don't know how to use them. There's 2 lanes. They can't figure it out. They get on the wrong lane. They try to come over. They don't know what the hell they're doing. Next thing you know, you're almost getting rear-ended or stopped or whatever. It's just, The section of Theater Road in Onalaska going to close later this month as crews begin construction on a brand new roundabout of the busy intersection there by McDonald's, starting May 27th. So what's that, next
Monday?
Tuesday. Theater Road will shut down between Midwest Drive and Highway 16 to allow for the construction of a new roundabout at the Theater Road and County Road PH intersection. Plan to use either East Main Street or Highway 16 as a detour. The intersection, of course, near McDonald's and Cooley Bank and Wells Fargo, entrance to the strip mall by Target, has been a high-traffic area prone to accidents. I've seen a number of them there, but just the amount of cars that pour through that intersection, I can't imagine a roundabout's going to solve any of those issues. I just don't see it happening. Louisiana State Police capturing another inmate. Now they've got 4 out of the 10. So 6 are still at large. They said yesterday they captured Gary Price, one of the 10 inmates who escaped the Orleans Justice Center last Friday. Price, the 4th fugitive to be recaptured since Governor Jeff Landry said it's the biggest jailbreak in Louisiana history. So they got a hole in the wall behind like a toilet and a sink
like
thing.
Actual jailbreak stuff.
Yeah, and apparently some help from the outside is what they're thinking. And then they also left some sort of notes that were taunting the law enforcement officers there and the jail guards. Price apprehended in an abandoned house, wanted in connection with an attempted first-degree murder case. These guys are not just, dudes who were speeding on the highway. These are guys that are committing serious crimes
that need to be
in jail, not jailbreaking. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, they're tracking these guys down. They've got 4 of the 10 now. And last but not least, the parole hearing for the Menendez brothers, now rescheduled for August. Lyle and Eric Menendez scheduled to appear for their parole hearing August 21st and 22nd. The hearing originally set for June 13th. So we, of course, heard last week they got resentenced. So now they're available for eligible for parole. And that parole hearing has been pushed back to August.
I'll tell you what, those footage from those neighborhoods in St. Louis and Kentucky and through the Kansas, the tornadoes that happened over the weekend.
Awful.
Just unbelievable, some of those, what they caught, and such devastation and loss of life. Wow.
We've got some AC/DC coming up in just a bit, and if you need to get in touch with us, visit rockmornings.com. Right now, Sleep Token.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
AC/DC on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Before that, some Sleep Token. Brewers with a nice 5-4 win over the Orioles last night.
Good.
Orioles down to their last chance. It's Jackson Holliday, who's 1 for 4 today. Gets an opportunity against Trevor McGill. Fly ball to left. Collins is back with a play. Ball game over. Brewers with a run in the bottom of the 8th, and McGill closes the door on the O's.
Despite a valiant late-game comeback, Milwaukee hangs on for a 5-4 victory to open this series.
Same two teams tonight, 6:40 first pitch. No games in the NHL or the NBA last night. The playoffs continue tonight, however, with the conference finals. Minnesota at Oklahoma City tonight at 7:30 on ESPN for Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals in the NBA. The Eastern Conference Finals begin tomorrow night with Indiana at New York at 7 p.m. on TNT. No games again in the NHL last night, but tonight you got Florida at Carolina, Game 1 of the Eastern Finals, and then you've got, that's on TNT at 7 p.m., then tomorrow night, Edmonton at Dallas at 7 on ESPN for Game 1 of the West Final. NHL referee, speaking of guys on the ice,
What?
even the refs are hockey tough.
Take one to the mouth, did he?
Yeah, the face actually up by the eye. Chris Rooney, NHL referee, hoping to resume duties during the Stanley Cup playoffs after taking a high stick to the eye in Game 7 of the second round Eastern Conference playoff series between the Maple Leafs and the Panthers. That was on Sunday night. He, of course, left the ice bloodied. They originally they brought out the stretcher, and he said, nah, dude, I got this. And he got up, and they helped him skate off with a big towel on his face. Rooney left with a black eye, but no lasting damage. Did have some stitches to close that gash, but hoping to get back out there on the ice and mix it up with some of the guys. Probably get a little stick tap there. Eagles, multi-year extension with their head coach, Nick Sirianni. Terms of the extension not disclosed. Sirianni 48-20 with the Eagles. Winning percentage is .706, the third highest in the Super Bowl era. 6-3 in the postseason, guiding his team to 2 Super Bowl appearances, including a decisive win against the Chiefs in this just past Super Bowl. So they said, we want to keep you around for a little while. And the tush push, we'll see what happens this week. We could be, well, they tabled the vote. Remember, they tabled the vote during the owners' meetings about a month ago. Now it looks like they're ready to vote again sometime this week. The Packers submitting a revised version of their rule proposal that would more broadly ban pushing or pulling the ball carrier anywhere on the field. In the proposal's updated language, quote, offensive players cannot assist the runner except by individually blocking opponents for him. The Packers also eliminating, quote, immediately at the snap in the updated language. NFL owners decided to table the votes. And it looks like during their Minneapolis meetings begin today and are scheduled to end tomorrow. They're going to vote on the
rehash it. They're going to talk more about it.
Maybe they'll vote. Maybe they'll table it again, but we'll see what happens. Sports on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We've got Rockfest music from Poppy in a couple of minutes. Rain throughout the area. Heavy wind at times.
Yeah, strong gusts this afternoon. Well, all day long, really, that could happen. 10 to 15 sustained, up to 45 miles an hour is a possibility. They are saying, depending on the vehicle size that you're driving, those, warnings particularly for, big trucks and semis. When the wind is like that, it can really, do damage, wreak havoc on your travels today.
We'll get to that Poppy next.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
It's one of the most coveted graduation gifts ever, naming a star after your graduate. And now, the National Star Registry is pleased to announce a new, even harder to believe premise. Name a cloud after your graduate. Give them the joy of staring at the sky and wondering,
is that my cloud? Or is it the one that just blew away?
Rest assured, your graduate's cloud will always be up, except on sunny days when we have no idea where it is. The all-new Name a Cloud, the perfect gift that says, I don't have a clue what to get you. And coming soon from the Star and Cloud Registry, name a UFO after your graduate.
Please leave home.
Cash, right? That's what you said?
Oh, yeah. For sure it's money.
Okay.
For sure.
All right.
I mean, there might be sentimental things or whatever, depending from close relatives, or they really want that. I don't know. thing for their dorm or for college or for whatever the next part of their life is, if they're not, high school, graduation, whatever. But money's king. King. Always.
I think when I graduated 7th grade, ninth grade, because elementary school was 1 through 6, junior high was 7, 8, and 9, and then 10, 11, 12 was high school. So when I got out of junior high, my parents took me to Denny's and I got a Mickey Mouse watch.
To celebrate your graduation?
I guess. Yeah. I was living a high life, man. Mickey Mouse watch. Thanks. It's like, do you even know who I am? Do you even know what my name is?
Well, it depends on what graduation you're talking about. I remember when they graduated kindergarten, it was ice cream. We went to the, legacy stuff.
Dude,
but I'm saying,
that's a 4-year-old. I was a 13. Wow, I was 15 years old. I was, watch? and I never wore watches. I mean, like, I wasn't a Disney fan. I was just like, over here. Thanks a lot. Those Metallica tickets would have been nice.
Yeah, it was. There was a lot of college graduations last weekend. There'll be more of those the next couple of weeks. A lot of high school graduations this weekend. So you'll see a lot of graduates and graduation parties and events. And yeah, just get cash. I told my husband, just go to the bank. I need these many 20s and these many 10s, and we're going to be filling out lots and lots of cards. That Platteville incident, by the way, both of those girls, if you haven't heard, there was a terrible incident at UW Platteville yesterday. More information will be coming out, but it sounds like 2 students there are deceased and everyone else is, safe at this time. But both of those girls had just graduated this weekend.
Oh. Obviously when we get more details, but like I said, my assumption when I read the story was that it was a murder-suicide.
One from Beloit and one from Baraboo. Isolated incident between the 2 individuals.
Television tonight, Celebrity Wheel of Fortune on ABC. Catherine McPhee and Josh Gad along with Andrew Rannells.
Oh, okay.
Season 7 finale of FBI on CBS. The 27th season finale of The Voice over on NBC. Jeopardy Masters, the quarterfinals of that on ABC tonight, starting at 8 p.m. Also, the 4th season finale of FBI International, the 6th season finale of FBI Most Wanted. Also, a series premiere of a show called Motorheads on Amazon.
There are 2 types of people in this world. Those that hit the brakes, and those that hit the gas. The question you have to ask yourself is, which one are you?
Give this town a chance.
Why?
Because maybe then we'll finally know more about Dad.
Nobody has to know who we are.
Yeah, well, maybe I want to know who we are.
I know it can't be easy starting over at a new school. I think this time might surprise you.
New guy?
Yeah.
Welcome to Ironwood.
Motorheads on Amazon, a coming-of-age drama about the kids of a legendary race car driver who move back to their hometown and then restore their dad's old car to take down a rival street racer.
Okay. I thought it was not going to be as drama like that. I thought it was going to be more like...
it's an angsty teen, One Tree Hill drama.
No, I thought it was more about like...
Dawson's Creek-ish.
People who redo cars.
No.
Like, it was more of a...
The big one, though, that people around here are excited for is The Fall of Favre on Netflix today.
Yep.
Everybody wish they could be an NFL quarterback. You get all the notoriety, you get paid all the money.
Brett Favre was a cult-like, iconic figure.
People say he was a football god.
There are a lot of reasons why you might question Brett Favre's inner goodness.
Allegations that he sent lewd texts and photos to a New York Jet employee.
Brett Favre ultimately destroyed my life.
In the life of Brett Favre, not everything is what it seems. He starts to go through life thinking, I can do whatever I want. At what level does that stop?
I was at a game, and someone said Brett Favre wanted my phone number. And I just kept saying no. I started getting text messages. And then I started getting voicemails when I was like, oh, I'm in serious trouble here.
Walker, had to come up with that.
Maybe we shouldn't be surprised that he got caught up in a federal welfare misappropriation scandal.
You take money intended for the poorest. I don't know how he sleeps at night.
People don't want most of that stuff to come out. People want their heroes.
When someone shows you who they are, believe them.
The Fall of Favre on Netflix today, a documentary about Brett Favre's NFL career and the scandals that have, of course, marred his legacy, from the Jen Sturger stuff to the drugs, painkillers, all that, and now this whole slush funds, misappropriation of funds type thing. I don't know. Also on Netflix today, a new stand-up special from Sarah Silverman called Postmortem.
My dad and my stepmom Janice both died last May, 9 days apart. And, oh, that one needs work. And my dad was my best friend, and they both gave me so much, and most recently about an hour of new material, so let's do this. This seems like a good time to mention, I do have merch this tour. And I just really feel like my parents would want me to monetize this.
Sarah Silverman, Postmortem, new comedy stand-up special from her on Netflix today. Fallon is new tonight with Jessica Biel and Simon Pegg. I'm assuming he'll be talking about the final Mission Impossible movie, which comes out this week. Sarah Silverman with the new comedy special will be on with her ex-lover, Jimmy Kimmel.
That sounds kind of funny.
And Stephen Colbert is new tonight with James Comey and Megan Fahey. New release Tuesday, nothing really coming out. There is a movie that's rated R. It's called Presence. Lucy Liu is in this one. A family becomes convinced they are not alone after moving into their new house in the suburbs.
I haven't heard her name in a long time.
Presence. That's it for new release Tuesday, but we did get some good news out of Netflix yesterday. Sesame Street gonna live on. Thanks to Netflix, struck a deal for some new episodes. Sesame Workshop was in business with Warner Brothers Discovery. Under that deal, the episodes wouldn't air on PBS until months after they debuted on HBO and Max. Soon to once again be HBO Max, they decided to end that attempt. But now new episodes of Sesame Street will air on PBS the same day that they hit Netflix. Their 56th season begins later this year. Obviously, we know about some of the cuts, the government budget cuts and all that stuff, and how PBS can be affected. So Sesame Street apparently going to be a thing, going to continue on, but it'll be on Netflix and on PBS.
I saw some cool shirts that were like, I was raised on the streets, and it's a picture of all the characters from Yes.
Yeah.
Cute.
Yeah. Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. That's what's on the boob tube today. What's new on New Release Tuesday.
Kind of a movie TV night.
Hunker
it looks
down,
like.
yeah.
I mean, this rain's going to continue pretty likely. I mean, when you look at the hour by hour, it's like 100% chance of rain basically all day until, tonight. Maybe it'll, cut back a little bit, but looks pretty rainy.
Grant Bills of the Wisco Sports Show going to join us. Bad News, Happy Music later on. Danny sent in a text, said, my aunt and uncle gave me a Mickey Mouse watch for the 5th grade graduation. Mine was 9th grade. Going into high school with my brand new Mickey Mouse watch.
Nice.
We went to Disney.
Arms were yeah.
We went to Disneyland's. Which one's Lands? California?
World, I think, is Florida. Isn't it?
We went to the one in Florida.
Yeah.
When I was in like 4th grade. It wasn't like we were a Disney family.
It wasn't like you collected Mickey Mouse things.
No, so far from that. But here's your Disney watch.
Did it come with a free pizza? Was it like
we went to Denny's. We went to Denny's. I told you, we went to friggin' Denny's. And they made a big deal out of it. Like it was some kind of honor to get this Mickey Mouse watch. Thanks.
Really? Huh.
Whatever. Is what it is. Bush.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
Foo Fighters Learn to Fly on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Couple of animal stories to put a smile on your face. Hashtag Florida cat. Named George. George the cat.
Mm-hmm.
Recently got neutered. Apparently didn't enjoy his visit to the vet.
I can't imagine.
Probably worried what else they might cut off. Right? In here, I'm intact, and all of a sudden you guys are cutting me up and taking my wiener. My balls.
George the cat is this upset?
So he popped his cage open, scaled the fence, and left. All while still groggy from the anesthesia. Apparently hadn't fully worn off yet, but George is like, F you, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Thankfully, George is okay. Somehow he knew which way to go. He walked 3 miles and showed up back home a couple of days later.
He was able to pop that cage open.
No
and
way.
He sprung out of there, and he was gone in seconds. Coming back from there, he has to go through 2 or 3 subdivisions. He has to go around the lake and probably 5 or 6 roads. So I was distraught and heartbroken. He needed a human touch, and that's what he got.
George the cat from #Florida.
Half under, groggy and anesthesia, and somehow finds his way back home again. That was a terrible experience I just had at that place you dropped me off.
Maybe
I want to let
he was
you know.
going home to let him know that how he really
That
felt.
was a terrible experience.
In other animal news, this is funny. Have you seen the bear, the black bear? The San Diego Humane Society taking in a 2-month-old black bear cub after they couldn't find its mother. Not sure what happened. Got left behind, fell out of a tree, something. And in the video that they posted of them interacting with the black bear cub, it's going viral because they are wearing a very cheap Halloween costume to interact with him. They're wearing a bear costume that they got off like Shein for $20.
It's not very furry, is that what you're saying? It's just
the video is a lot of them, playing with him and giving him teddy bears to bite on and play with. And then in one instance, they're trying to feed the bear, and they're wearing this god awful, it looks like a Goodwill find. The black bear costume. I don't know if you've seen it. It's pretty bad. And last but not least, in other bear-related news, Panda Watch. We got those pandas on loan from China, and they're at the National Zoo in D.C.
Yes.
Well, apparently they're getting horny. It's starting to happen.
They're hoping for this, right?
Right. At first, they apparently did not like each other. The female apparently...
takes a while.
Apparently, she'd been ignoring him for months. So... the 2 giant pandas that they got from China.
They're flirting with each other? Is that what you're saying?
Bao Li and Qing Bao. She had been ignoring him for months, but not anymore, so they're hoping for a love connection. Both pandas on loan from China, and they've been pretty flirty lately with all sorts of different sounds and looks and all that stuff. Sounds almost like a dog barking.
Like a mutual interest? Like I'm sort of interested in you a little bit?
Maybe.
Sort of
Maybe
interested
now
in
there's
me?
some response on her end as opposed to just sort of ignoring the male panda bear there at the National Zoo in D.C. But we may be getting tiny panda bear cubs.
Babies? Little panda babies?
We'll see.
Ooh.
Got to let that romance blossom.
That's exciting.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene.
Baby ducks.
What about them?
Last week, baby ducks got saved. Side of the road, no mom.
By your house?
Over kind of by Rudy's Drive-In, actually.
Oh.
But daughter and her friend driving down the road, no mom anywhere. Like in the road, these 4 little babies,
Well,
like trying. They're where are we going? We don't know what we're doing. And they tried to find the mom or the rest of the family and couldn't. So contacted the wildlife ref, where we went and saw all those rescues.
Skunk. Yeah.
That were out by the Humane Society. So Friday, 4 little ducks in her shirt, sending me pictures of them wrapped up in her. They're hard to catch, Mom.
Yeah. They don't want to be caught.
They were squeaking and running around the road, and she's trying to stop traffic out.
Like herding cats. Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. We'll get to some Fame on Fire in just a bit.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Start your day with Rock Mornings.
Take this job and shove it. I ain't working here no more.
Meetings. They're the worst. I hate them. Don't like them. Don't want to do them. Don't even have that many. Just got better things to do with my time than go to meetings. Microsoft. Very important around the office, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, they just announced something?
They just put a new report out that claims that office employees, these are obviously people in a 9-to-5 business setting, interrupted by meetings, emails, and other work-related pings, whatever that means, every 2 minutes.
Oof, that's a lot.
So, like, every time you're trying to accomplish a goal, right, get something done, check it off the list.
Something is happening. There's a lot of communication that I have, but I wouldn't say it's every 2 minutes. That's a lot. That feels like a ton.
They also say that 60% of meetings are ad hoc, which means called in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And because of all those meetings during the workday, they say there's been a 15% increase in the number of chats sent daily outside of work hours. Oh, boy, do I get plenty of those. Unfortunately, nothing is going to convince the higher-ups to do away with inefficient meetings, but there are things you can try to make the most of the time you have. One suggestion is to pick the time of day that you're most productive and block out that time ahead of
that's kind of
schedule
smart, yeah.
if possible. So if you know that right before lunch, that hour there, 11 to 12 or whatever it is, that you're going to be busiest and you're more focused on getting something done, then block that out. Say, sorry, can't do any kind of meetings or Zooms or any of that crap.
This is a good time for me to get some stuff done.
But office employees apparently interrupted by meetings every 2 minutes.
Boomers love meetings. They'll have meetings about meetings. Meetings make them feel important because next time somebody's trying to schedule something, like a doctor's appointment, the doctor says, can we do it on Wednesday the 12th? They can say, no, sorry, I can't. I have a meeting that day. Oh, you're an important person who has meetings. Anybody can email. Work is about showing your title. An email just does not convey that grandeur. They also love their paperwork, so they can file things away in a drawer to never be seen again. But having paperwork, that makes you important. That's why we can't work from home, because nobody's going to see when you're suited. You're not going to be able to tell them you have meetings scheduled.
Meetings.
Well, and not necessarily that. They're saying like maybe an instant message or other things that are interrupting, but every 2 minutes seems a lot.
Microsoft then claims that this demonstrates a need for more AI, but not to go to the meetings for you. The AI agents would be able to help you do your actual work tasks better and faster. So then you'd have more time for these stupid meetings that could have just been an email.
My husband, how often he thinks he gets interrupted because he's got,
Well, he's at home.
Yeah.
Dogs,
for the most
kids.
part, and lots
Mailman.
of messages and people communicating that way. So I wonder if it's every few minutes for him or not, or if he finds that to be over the top.
Meetings. Ugh. Sports in a bit. Grant Bill's going to join us just after 8.
Man, it's really raining.
And it is raining, yeah.
Really raining. Going to be that way all day today, it looks like. Pretty much 100% chance of rain throughout the day. So I think expect this. Although it's been super, super dry. Really dry. Lots of burn bans. Farmers having trouble. So I guess a gentle rain all day long is probably good.
Lon's going to love it. It's Fame on Fire. Tune is called Chains.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find the daily podcast at rockmornings.com.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. The Brewers getting a nice 5-4 win over the Orioles last night. Same 2 tonight at 6:40 for first pitch. NBA tonight, Minnesota, Oklahoma City Thunder, 7:30 on ESPN. That's Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. On the ice, Florida at Carolina, Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. That's 7 o'clock tonight on TNT. Two-time defending Indianapolis 500 winner Joseph Newgarden and his Team Penske teammate Will Power will both have to start from the final 2 spots on the grid on Sunday after their teams penalized for violating the rules during qualifying weekends. IndyCar also announced yesterday that the team strategists for the number 2 and 12, respectively, have been suspended for the race. The cars will forfeit their qualification points and pit box selections, and each of the entries has been fined $100,000.
So were they knowingly?
They were naughty. They were very naughty, Gene.
Cheating?
Yeah. Doc will probably fill us in on more of that on Friday when we talk racing. Indiana Fever defeating the Chicago Sky 93-58 in the season opener on Saturday at the Gamebridge Fieldhouse. Of course, the lasting image from that is the Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese foul.
Rebecca Allen too strong on a 3. And look out, Caitlin Clark pushes Angel Reese, and Angel Reese gets right up into Caitlin Clark. Afterwards has something to say as Clark walks away. We know there are always increased eyeballs, energy, and attention around the matchups between Reese and Clark, and Angel Reese is still going after Caitlin Clark in the aftermath.
Everyone in the arena had to know this foul was coming. As soon as you saw Angel Reese wide open, you knew that Caitlin Clark was going to come in and take that foul.
So that was the big takeaway from the game between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. But now the takeaway is that the WNBA is investigating alleged racial comments aimed at Reese by fans in attendance. The WNBA strongly condemns racism, hate, and discrimination in all forms, and they have no place in our league or in society. We are aware of the allegations and are looking into the matter. The Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark's team, also releasing a statement saying, we are aware of the allegations of inappropriate fan conduct during yesterday's game, and we are working closely with the WNBA to complete their investigation. We stand firm in our commitment to providing a safe environment for all WNBA players. But yeah. Speaking of Indiana.
Yes.
Not sure if you saw the video of the fan who was being pursued by Knicks fans and they were throwing garbage at him, bags of garbage.
No, I did not.
Yeah, so this guy's wearing a Pacers jersey, happens to be a Pacers fan, and the Knicks, of course, had beaten the Celtics, the Pacers waiting for them in the finals, the Eastern Conference Finals. And this guy is there while the Knicks beat the Celtics and move on to the finals to face the Pacers. And Knicks fans turned on him and started chasing him down and throwing trash at him and harassing him and saying all sorts of nasty stuff. While Pat McAfee was able to chase this guy down, found out who he was, and had him on a show.
Everybody saw that video captivate the entire internet. And obviously the entire city of New York got buried for it. Like, what a bunch of scumbags. Mm-hmm. That was a conversation. My conversation was, who was this man that was willing to stare down 100-some people in the streets of New York just days before the Eastern Conference Finals between the New York Knicks and the Indiana Pacers? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we found him. New York firefighter, Hans Perez. Hey, Hans! How are you, man?
How you doing, guys? I'm good, man. I made it out.
Yes, you certainly did. We appreciate you joining us here. Can I just ask, you're a Pacer. Was this a rage bait type thing? You were trying to bait these people into this? Or are you a Pacers fan? How did you become a Pacers fan in New York City?
I'm a Pacers fan for life, man. They got my heart when I was a kid, and I just stuck with them ever since.
Sorry that happened to you, but we actually have a special guest who wants to talk to you. Ladies and gentlemen, the point guard for the Indiana Pacers out of Iowa State, Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah,
Tyrese. What's up, bro? What's up, brother?
Tyrese. What the hell? My man, how you doing?
Yeah. I'm good, bro. How are you? I'm glad you made it out the jungle alive, bro. I'm glad you're still here with us, man. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah, man, it was rough. I feel like I'm going to war with you guys, man.
Well, speaking of going to war with us, I wanted to hit you. Pat told me he found you yesterday, called me. I said, I got to get on the show and talk to him myself. I want to personally bring you and a +1 out here to come to Game 4. Here in Indiana. I'll bring you guys out here, put you guys up, get you guys seats to the game. The Pacers, everybody in our organization wants to make sure you're taken care of. All the team's excited to meet you. It's all we've been talking about. Everybody's seen the video. So, man, we want to bring you out here. And, man, I'm really excited about that. So
you in, Hans? I believe that's on Tuesday. You're able to make the trip. I know scheduling, obviously, as a firefighter is something.
I gotta talk to the guys. I mean, I'm pretty sure we could work something out.
I think they're gonna make it work out.
To come see that.
Yeah, so Tyrese Halliburton shows up on the Pat McAfee show, and this guy is going to Game 4 in Indiana to be a guest of the Pacers, and I'm sure they're going to treat him like royalty.
I guess he's got a tattoo and everything.
It's right on his wrist. It was like his first tattoo that he ever got when he was like 17, and he's a Pacers fan living in New York, and he's a firefighter, which, it's like, and these guys are throwing trash at him. And
kind of harassing him all the way down the street, yelling things and following him. And
that could have easily escalated, too. That's the scary part. Look, if fans rib other fans, that happens all the time. And it's not exclusive to Knicks fans.
Could have been a mob mentality.
But it could have. One spark can ignite a fire, and that's all it could have taken. But this guy is going to go to Indianapolis and see the Pacers in Game 4, and obviously going to get the royal treatment.
So you were talking about the Indy 500, and maybe you already knew this. Sorry, I was out sick yesterday. But did the Wiener 500? Did you talk about the Wiener mobiles?
No.
So they're going to compete. The Wiener mobiles are going to compete for the top dog in the first Weenie 500 According to a news release from Oscar Mayer, the 6 Wienermobiles will race at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on the 23rd. The race will be streamed. Nice. Yep. The officials say it's the first time all 6 Wienermobiles have come together in more than a decade. Each of the Wienermobiles will represent a regional dog, including the Chicago dog for the Midwest, the New York dog for the East, the Slaw dog for the Southeast, Sonora dog for the Southwest, Chili dog for the South, and the Seattle dog for the Northwest. The race will include custom hot dog or racing suits, a trophy presentation in the Wieners circle, a mustard spray, and a hot dog for the winner's enjoyment, it said. So it's the unofficial kickoff to the summer and the grilling season, and so Oscar Mayer wanted to have their brand right in front of everybody, but kind of fun. So the 6 Wienermobiles will get out on the racetrack and do something on Friday. So it'll be streamed, I guess, at 2:00.
Got some Volbeat coming up in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Weekdays, 6 to 9.
Stream, 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 stream. Schools are closing. Not much good news, but I've got Wi-Fi and lots of booze. Whenever I'm not Zooming, all I have to do is stream. Stream, stream, stream. Netflix and chill, Hulu if you will. Peacock and Disney Plus too.
Wait, there's more.
More?
Yes, more.
Amazon Prime, HBO Max, and throw in a little YouTube.
What's Peacock?
Stream, 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 stream.
What's on television tonight on the other channels?
You can't not watch.
National Streaming Day. Did you know that was a thing?
I did not know that was a thing, but here in our area, the rainy day makes good for it, I guess.
It's Flower Day, National High Heel Day, National Pick Strawberries Day, National Rescue Dog Day, World Bee Day, and National Streaming Day. And there's actually some
a lot
deals
of things. Okay.
to be had on National Streaming Day. You can Google these obviously, but Disney Plus, Peacock, Sling, a whole bunch of others. Right now through the 30th, you can get a 1-year Peacock Premium streaming subscription for only $24.99, a savings of almost 70%. $55 off the usual fee of $79.99. You can access more than 80,000 hours of shows, movies, and live sports with the Peacock Premium streaming subscription. Again, $24.99 now through the end of the month. They've got Disney Plus bundles, Amazon Prime, obviously. Lots of bundles there. But today is National Streaming Day. So if you're looking to maybe get a new streaming service, you've been thinking about it, holding off, waiting, now might be the day to look at those deals, see if something piques your interest. And I thought, because all these streaming services have a little sound effect when you open it up.
Ugh, I'll be terrible at this.
That we would play a little game and see how Gene does.
Terrible. I'm going to be terrible at this.
How terrible?
Real bad.
Like how bad?
Like I might get 1.
You might get 1? Well, let's find out. See what Gene's got.
I might get 1.
When it comes to the streaming services, we'll start with an easy one. Are you ready? All right, listen closely.
Netflix.
Cha-ching. You got that one right. All right, let's move on to the next one. Check out this one. You want to hear it again?
Sure. I don't know. I probably watch stuff once in a while on these too, but I don't pay any attention whatsoever.
Well, you got
Apple.
the
Is it
first one
Apple?
right. No, this streaming sound effect is Hulu.
Okay.
That's what happens when you open up Hulu. Let's try another more familiar one.
I don't pay any attention.
Kind of sounds like the last one a little bit.
Sure. Peacock.
That would be Disney. Disney. You want to try another one?
Yeah, I'm real good at this.
National Streaming Day, streaming services with all sorts of weird little sound effects as you open up the app.
Well, it's got to be one of the ones I probably already said. Is it Apple?
Yay!
Okay.
There
It's
you
gotta
go.
be
By
one
process of elimination.
Yes.
All right, let's try this one. You ready?
Sure. Is that...
You want to hear it again?
It's...
All right.
I don't even know what this is. Well, is it Peacock? I was going to say I don't think it is because I don't even know what that is. I don't know. Is that I don't have zero idea.
That was HBO Max.
Oh, yeah. Which I've never seen ever.
Let's try another one. You ready for this one?
Nope.
All right, listen up. A little bit longer than the other ones. That's about 5 or 6 seconds right there, so you get a little bit more to it. Also, several different tones in there, unlike the other ones where it's usually one or two tones.
Sure.
That one's got several in there.
Prime?
That would be Paramount Plus. You want to try another one?
Yeah, sure.
All right, here we go. Streaming,
really super fun
National
for me.
Streaming Day.
Having a great
Gene's
time with this.
testing her mettle with the streaming service sound effects.
Uh-huh.
Kind of an ambient noise there at first, but then it's got a little ding sort of towards the end.
Idea.
Here we go again. Listen again. No.
Haven't I said them all?
That belongs to Amazon Prime.
Okay, there's Prime.
You want one more?
See, and I watch stuff on that, but I literally don't pay any attention to that.
Well,
What's
kudos
our
to
reference?
Netflix for hammering it because everybody knows that one, right? And I think all these other streaming services are like, well, what the hell are we going to do? I don't know. Make it sound like everybody else's. I don't think I would have much luck. This is the last one. You ready for this one? You should know this one with people in your house. What do your kids watch most of their stuff on?
Probably YouTube.
There you go. Ding. That's a YouTube sound effect right there for a streaming service.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I don't pay any attention to the sound. I'm just trying to get to the thing and do the thing. I
also think the Netflix one is, it's because it's more aggressive than the other ones. It's got a real like dun-dun right at the beginning, and it's short and with a sting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so right when it feels like it's louder when you first open up the app, right? Then the content you're going to watch, it feels like that sound effect, they've increased the volume so that it's like, hey, dummy, you're watching Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
But streaming day, National Streaming Day.
So they win.
I don't know
At least the most recognizable.
Yeah. Well, and it also been around the longest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Netflix obviously started out as a DVD in the mail type service, and now it's mostly streaming. And
I'm sure there's some people who nailed all of those, and congratulations on National Streaming Day. You're good at that. I'm not. You're good at that.
I knew you wouldn't be good at it.
Mm-mm.
Grant Bills is going to join us after 8 o'clock from the Wisco Sports Show. We'll get to bad news, happy music as well. And, of course, if you need something, you can find all our contact info online at rockmornings.com. It's Disturbed.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
8:15-ish on Tuesdays, we're joined by the host of the Wisco Sports Show, Grant Bills. You can hear the Wisco Sports Show weekday afternoons from 4 until 6 on great stations all around the state of Wisconsin, including WKTY in La Crosse and Sports Talk 105.1 in Eau Claire. I just got an email from one of our sales weasels that said if I asked if I was interested in golfing with Grant on Wednesday, June 4th, we couldn't start until 6:30. What's that about?
6. But yeah, we were thinking about maybe hitting the links. You want to go knock some balls around with me, Simpson? What do you say? I got my clubs in my trunk right now.
Are you a good golfer or a bad golfer?
No.
All right, so then I can...
No.
Then I'm on par with you. Okay. All right.
good.
Then, yeah, I'd like to hit the links with you. That'd be cool. You know, I just do it to drink outdoors and drive a golf cart, right? That's not really...
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, I like just being outside. I like wearing pretentious clothing. I'm not going to, go like PGA Tour here, but, maybe a polo or a quarter zip.
You guys going to do like 9 or something? You're gonna
I'm going to do like 3, and then I'm going to go home because I get up early in the morning, and 6:30 start time is really late.
Could we do 4.5? Could we do
half
half
the course.
of the 9?
That's it. Yes, we'll do that.
All right, how about we do this? I'll drink a 6-pack, and however long it takes me to drink a 6-pack is how many holes I'm going to golf.
You have to get up at 6:30 in the morning.
6:30. My show is over at 6:30. I'm up at 1 o'clock, bro.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Why'd you just say 6:30 then?
That was the time in his email. He said we wouldn't be able to start until 6:30.
Oh, well, yeah, because I'm on the air until 6. If you guys wanted to start a little bit before that, I could come join you, mid-sesh.
Well, you're going to be live, though, aren't you, somewhere? Aren't you going to be out on
Is that
location?
the deal? You're coming to town for something, and you're going to be in our area?
Well, I'm going to be with Bill. We're taking the RV around the state for a couple of days. So we'll be in La Crosse for 2. He's got his cigar dinner on Wednesday, which is why I thought, well, maybe I golf with you guys, because cigars really aren't my bag. We're going to be at Copeland Park the night before for a Loggers game.
Yeah, he's throwing out the first pitch, right?
Yeah, and then we'll be up in Eau Claire the next day or so. I don't know. We're going all over Simpson.
You're
it's
broadcasting your show live too. I think that one afternoon from 4 until 6, if memory serves me. Yeah. So maybe it's after that.
Yeah. I'll be at Flipside either that Tuesday or that Wednesday. I believe Wednesday is when I'll be there.
Speaking of
the Loggers on
the
Tuesday.
big unit, Bill Michaels, who you're getting in an RV with, and you're going around the state. You and I were talking about this when we were off air, and Gene and I, of course, were talking about it earlier when we were discussing what's going to be on TV tonight. The new Netflix special, The Fall of Favre, and Bill Michaels is featured prominently in this thing. Is that the deal?
I don't know how prominently he's in it. So this is a weird thing, right? I remember like 2 years ago, Bill told me, there's a camera crew coming to their house. It's something about Favre. And he never really told me details, and I'd kind of forgotten about it. And then a month or two ago, Netflix announced that this is coming out. Very interesting to us Packers fans, right? And I tell Bill on air, I said, Bill, there's a Favre documentary coming out on Netflix. And he looks me straight in the eye on the webcam and goes, I wonder if that's the one that I'm in. I can't remember. And I'm like, how are you in a Netflix documentary and you don't remember? He's like, well, it was like 2 years ago and I don't remember what they asked me. It's like, man, but he's in it. I think Mike Clemens, our Packers reporter, should be part of it as well. I don't know how much, but we talked to the executive producer on his show yesterday and I was on the phone with him last week, and he is in it. Like, that is confirmed. He's not in the trailer, but he is in it at least a little bit. I don't know how much.
All right. Well, that's out on Netflix today, The Fall of Favre. It kind of is about, his, obviously, I don't know, the sadder times of his life, the whole Jen Sturger thing, and about the drugs, the painkillers, and, the whole stealing money from poor people thing. So, yeah, definitely going to watch it. Does it impact you at all in terms of how you view Favre?
No, because I feel like we know kind of the gist of all that stuff. It'll be interesting to hear perspectives from people who are up close and personal. Like, for those who don't know, Bill used to do a post-game show with Brett's dad. Bill was around that team in the late 90s, the early 2000s. I didn't know about
that.
Bill has incredible Favre stories. And if you ask your aunt and uncle who live in Shawano, or to Rivers, everyone has a Favre story. We saw him out at the bar one time. Everyone's got a good Favre story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really interested because according to their executive producer who was on with us yesterday, is on number 2. You check out the podcast. It's all of it. It's his high school career. It's his college career. It's his rise, as well as, his tribulations over the years. Now, there's more tribulations, and I think that's more the focus of it, because that's, you can also guess that by the title. But it's not just one big smear piece. It's kind of his story from start to finish.
And he wasn't involved in it in any way, shape, or form, correct?
No, they reached out to him, and Favre's camp. Favre has a very litigious camp. They watch everything. They didn't provide comment or anything. They did. There is a scene in the documentary where Favre's camp is calling AJ, who's the executive producer. Threatening's probably a strong word, but they were not fans of this. Let's just say that.
Right.
This was not Favre-sponsored storytelling.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to watching it as a person who enjoyed his playing career, but always felt like there was a little bit of idolatry going on with the guy for only having won one Super Bowl. But after I moved to Wisconsin, I was like, oh, okay, you people don't really have a lot of other stuff going on.
Well, he turned the Packer organization around so much.
Quarterback,
right?
so much.
So many years and all. And then, it was, it's interesting. I don't know if I'm going to be surprised by any of it, but who knows? I think
Can you guys separate art from artist? Do you have a standpoint on that? Because I can watch Favre highlights and be like, oh my God, there is nobody ever like him. He didn't win as much. You're right about that.
I think it depends on what it is. Honestly, because I think each case is its own. You look at a Michael Jackson, and you're like, just look at the hits. You know what I mean? Look at how much music is out there and the impact the guy had on the world, and how, not just his fame, but just the talent and all. And can you separate that from whatever the accusations are? And then you look at somebody like Kanye West, and you're like, I don't know, man. I like Gold Digger, but I don't like it that much.
Yeah, exactly.
And so and Diddy, you look at Diddy, and you're like, I don't know, man. Can you support a guy like that anymore? Marilyn Manson. I mean, the problem is everybody's got skeletons in their closet. All these people. You cannot understand what it's like to be that famous unless you are that famous, and they don't live in the real world. So it's hard for us to judge. I find it hard for me to judge as I get older how these celebrities and famous people act, because they don't live in reality. They live in some other form of it, and I just, I have to take them at their word, I guess.
Well, I think if Brett's thing would have ended with, because everyone in this area was obviously in love with his whole family, right? Like you were just saying, his family in Green Bay, so his wife and his daughters and all of that stuff. We probably could have dealt with the leaving the organization and going to the enemy, but then and probably the penis pics. But then it started with
if it had just been the dick pics,
yes.
It would have been okay. You get the beautiful story with the dad and the game against the Raiders on Monday Night Football and all that stuff. And I get it. It's wonderful. It's such a great fluff piece, right? It's the Disney movie, right? In real life, it happens, and the crying and all the stuff and the dick pic, whatever. Okay, you get famous and some hot chick, and you got a wife at home with a bunch of kids, and you're not really around, and she's over there, and you're trying to, and it's like, but a lot of dudes get street meat. It happens. I mean, you talk to Vince Neil and these guys, they're doing it all up and down the coast. I'm not surprised to hear that, but the other stuff, the stealing from poor people, is
to build his daughter's volleyball court.
Yeah, that's kind of wretched. That honestly, that's not a good thing.
I think because you brought up musicians, right? Like these musicians who do world tours, we can't fathom the pressure they're on to perform, because consider the hundreds and the thousands of people whose jobs and paychecks are relying on that tour to go city to city, night to night, right? All the money that everyone is invested in that thing, like that'd be unbelievable. And I think on some level, Favre probably experienced that too, because he's bankrolling his entire family, probably his entire hometown. You know what I mean? Like, so many people were under his support and his money. And that's not excusing anything. I think this documentary will probably, and I haven't seen it yet, I'm going to watch it tonight, will probably lay bare some of those dynamics that'll have people going, oh, okay. Like, I still hate some of the things that he's done, but I guess I can kind of see how we got from point A to point B.
Yeah, I mean, what do you and I know about supporting an entire community of people,
Yeah. I don't support my household. I barely support my house. It's cat food and litter and eggs. Like, if I can do that week by week, I'm doing a good job.
You do work in radio, so. Grant Bills, host of the Wisco Sports Show, on the phone with us every Tuesday at about 8:15. You can hear him weekday afternoons from 4 until 6 on WKTY in La Crosse and Sports Talk 105.1 in Eau Claire. What's your take on the NBA Final Four? It's kind of strange. It seems like other than the Thunder, there's these sort of outlier fringy teams in the finals.
Well, the Pacers are really good. I think they're going to beat the Knicks.
No doubt.
I think the Knicks are going to experience what the Wolves experienced last year. The Wolves last year built themselves to beat the Nuggets, right? And then they did it in round 2, and oh my God, it was wild. And then in the conference finals, they played the Mavs. Very different team. Operate a lot faster. The offense is a lot stronger, where the Wolves were kind of slower, more static. And I think the Knicks played against the Celtics team, and the Simpson. They stand around. They don't ask a lot of you when you're on defense. They're not fast. They don't necessarily push the pace. The Pacers are the opposite. So I think the Pacers are going to beat the Knicks, go to the finals. I'm not really sure about the West. I think whatever team comes out of the West, it'll be good for the NBA, because we will either legitimize Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or Anthony Edwards, and it feels like another one of these players needs to join that group of respected, accomplished players. Like, I wish the conference finals were LeBron and Steph Curry, but that's probably not what's best for the NBA long term.
No.
So even though it's like, it's Minnesota, Oklahoma City, I think it's good for basketball.
It's like watching Hogan hold on for dear life as his career came to an end, or Ric Flair, or any of those aging wrestlers. They just want that one last match, and it's like, dude, your best years are behind you. We want to see the new talent, and you can't keep holding court over everybody else.
Yeah, and I would have loved LeBron and Steph in the conference finals. Like, that'd be unbelievable, and I would enjoy it more than whatever is going to happen now. Like, sorry to Wolves fans and Thunder fans, but I think, again, for the long-term health of the NBA, to see some of these younger guys, whether it's Shea, Halliburton, Anthony Edwards, Jalen Brunson, any of these guys getting in the finals and taking a step up and getting some more respect from basketball fans. So next year, we have a reason to turn on one of their games like, oh, that guy just took his team to the finals, or that guy just won a championship. I think that's good for the NBA long term, even if right now it's lacking a little luster for me.
Grant Bills, host of the Wisco Sports Show, joining us each and every Tuesday, and always a pleasure. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Try to stay dry, and we'll see about that golf on a Wednesday at 6:30. That's not optimal time for me.
Well, look, we don't have to do it, but, I will be staying in La Crosse from Monday night over to Tuesday, so if you want me to come in and see you both in studio for a Tuesday chat.
That would be super awesome.
That'd be awesome. I'd like that.
Not to invite myself, but it sure sounds fun.
Well, you're always invited, Grant Bills, and it's always a pleasure to talk to you. We'll talk to you in a week, okay?
Have a great week. Thank you both.
Grant Bills, host of the Wisco Sports Show, each and every Tuesday at about 8:15. We've got Bad News, Happy Music coming up in just a bit.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. More from Brian and Gene is coming up.
You're about to enter a beautiful, exciting, wonderful new world.
A cockroach living in your nostril.
Now that's just nasty.
Add in some haven't pooped for 30 days.
Poop is raining from the ceilings. Poop.
And sprinkle in some #Florida Man for flavor.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man. Florida Man.
Florida Man.
Florida Man quits his Burger King job, steals all of their chicken nuggets.
It's bad news.
Bad news.
With happy music.
Let's rock.
#Florida Man arrested, allegedly, shooting his neighbor's pregnant cow several times after it wandered onto his property, making good on his threat to shoot any animals that entered. The guy's name is Hung Trin, and he was charged with animal cruelty and grand theft of a commercial farm animal after he allegedly shot the 2-year-old cow 5 times in its gut, chest, and rear leg.
Man.
Deputies called to a North Fort Myers home May 13th, found the animal alive but struggling to walk or stand. The neighbor had reported to the sheriff's office that he had discovered the calf on his neighbor's property with 5 gunshot wounds.
Unnecessary.
A veterinarian unfortunately determined that the calf needed to be euthanized due to its injuries.
Good. Bad. I'm the guy with the gun.
The neighbor raises livestock, including the calf that was shot for commercial purposes. This guy that shot the calf, or the cow allegedly, had been upset about past instances of livestock getting over the fence onto his yard, had threatened to shoot any animals that entered his property, and apparently lived up to that threat.
Yeah, I hope you don't mind. I got up a little early, so I took the liberty of milking your cow for you. Yeah, it took a little while to get her warmed up. She sure is a stubborn one. Then, pow, all at once.
We don't have a cow. We have a bull.
I'll brush my teeth.
Deputies executing a search warrant found a .22 caliber handgun or gun in the shed on this guy's property. There will be accountability for taking your frustrations out on innocent animals. In this case, multiple felonies and jail time, said the sheriff down there. Good.
Yeah. So he's just, does this guy's livestock constantly come onto this guy's land? Is this a real problem
I get it.
for him?
It becomes a nuisance, but at the same time, it's just a cow. What's it doing? Is it smashing through your house? Is it a bull in a china shop? It's just over there getting some grass or whatever the hell it's doing. Taking a poop. Be all right.
Maybe that's it.
All the big poop?
Mm-hmm. Too many cow pies.
Cow pies. Another security scare at O'Hare Airport in Chicago last weekend. A delivery driver drove onto an unauthorized secured area for several miles at the airport before somebody caught on.
But now imagine if this had been at night in the darkness. I mean, where no one noticed this person. Headlights all look the same pretty much in the dark. This could have been really, really bad.
Travelers at O'Hare, familiar with the sight of cars coming through to pick up and drop off passengers. Anybody caught stopping for too long told to keep it moving. Keep it moving. Tight ship run at pickup and drop off makes what happened around noon on Saturday extremely confusing as a DoorDash driver. This isn't some UPS FedEx guy that belongs down there. There's some guy with somebody's breakfast sandwich. A DoorDash driver drove through a secured area before someone realized he wasn't supposed to be there. The delivery driver drove miles along the interior and restricted roads at O'Hare. Right? How the hell do I get out of here? How the hell do I get out of here? Where am I? Potentially crossing runways before somebody spotted him from the air traffic control tower.
holy cow. I don't think I'm in the right place. This doesn't seem right. Crossing runways?
Business jet pilot, former air traffic controller Robert Mark said, I was just going to say another one. Yeah. Said incidents are a huge safety concern. Asked how often they happen. He said, luckily not very often, but I have seen it at other airports, and it's frustrating when you're up, and then you go, who the heck is that? Chicago police confirming that a 36-year-old man was working as a delivery driver when he accidentally drove onto an unauthorized secured area within the airport. Police added that they conducted a preliminary investigation, deemed the delivery driver's actions were a mistake, so no charges or citations were filed. But yeah, let's just say you don't know where you're going. It's crazy busy. There's people and cars everywhere. There's signs all over the place. You have no idea what the hell you're doing. You're just trying to deliver somebody's breakfast sandwich.
Exit.
You take a right-hand turn. Next thing you know, you're on the runway. You're like, oh, okay. Now where do I go? Because I definitely don't belong out here. Ooh, several miles. This guy's driving around inside the airport. I'm just trying to deliver an Egg McMuffin here. I'm just trying to get this guy his chicken tendies. That's got to be scary. Scary as hell. Prison officials in Costa Rica catching an unlikely suspect attempting to smuggle drugs behind bars. You got to appreciate the ingenuity here. You know, we've seen people, they try to bake a file into a cake. Little conjugal visit. Right? You sneak it in and the conjugal visit.
Inside an orifice.
Yeah, inside the body. Mm-hmm. We've seen birds, right? They fly birds over, drones. They fly the drones over, try to drop them into the yard, the drugs and the paraphernalia.
I feel like I remember once there was like a big sandwich, too. She made like a big sandwich and hollowed out the inside of like the bread on the inside.
Possibly. This was a cat, apparently.
Cat in the wall, eh?
Prison officials in Costa Rica caught a cat trying to smuggle drugs behind bars last week. They captured it climbing over a fence. 236 grams of marijuana, 68 grams of heroin strapped to its back.
Like a little backpack? Like a little drug backpack?
Yeah.
Little kitty.
What do they call those things?
Suitcase?
What's the thing, the belly,
I don't know what you're talking about.
The stupid belly one, the one that goes down here. What the hell is that called?
Like,
the belly one that's down here.
Yeah.
The dumb one from the 80s. That it's like people were bringing it back.
I have one with cats that glow up, as a matter of fact, that it's like space cats.
I can't get past it. What is it? What thing?
Yes, I know. Because I'm sick. Because I'm sick.
Is it all the meds that we're on?
Yes,
what the
I'm
hell
on
is that
so
thing
many
called?
meds right now.
Pouch. It's like a pouch.
Yes.
Pouch something.
Anyway, what are you saying?
It's got one of these pouches on. Somebody text me because I can't remember the goddamn name of this thing. The thing down by your belly.
Yes. Okay.
Officials believe the cat was deployed by someone outside the jail to smuggle fanny pack. There we go. Thank you, Bill. Fanny pack. Officials believe the cat was deployed by someone to smuggle the drugs to the prisoners inside. You think? Cat's not just walking around.
It didn't choose to do that on its
This isn't
own.
the monkey in The Hangover, right? They cut the drugs off the cat, handed it over to animal care to have it checked out. It's going to be okay. The cat, by the way, not going to face any charges.
What would you charge the cat?
They're searching through the security footage to find out who's behind the cat mule, the drug mule. Probably wasn't the sharpest person because the cat was apparently mostly white and was unleashed at night, making it very easy to spot.
See on the cameras
as opposed to a black cat, which would have blended in maybe with the surroundings.
I bet it flattened itself out, went right through a seam in your wall.
Yeah, black cat, maybe just other than the glowing eyes, you wouldn't even notice it at all.
Just climbing over the fence with a bunch of heroin and marijuana strapped to its back.
Oh, I get you another cat. I got followed here by like 10 cats. Yeah, they're starting to follow me these days.
Like a ninja cat, real low to the ground with like a all black suit on.
Yeah, I mean, you certainly could have done a better job getting
little boots.
Wouldn't
leave any fingerprints.
A cat that's more adept at hiding itself in the dark as opposed to the white cat. Bad news, happy music, last one. I don't know how this happens, but arriving early at the California funeral home for her uncle's viewing, Amantha Hunt looked at the casket and knew immediately that the man inside was not her uncle.
That is not David.
Went to a staff member who allegedly insisted the right corpse was inside the coffin. It was only after she showed him a picture of her uncle
No, that's right. It's
that
David.
the staff reportedly realized the mistake. Now the family is suing the funeral home. I don't know if you need to sue. I mean, you could be upset.
Well, where was
You could be
her?
mad. But was everybody there? Did everybody get a look at it? Was it out on display like and everyone was already there? Or were you there early and you noticed it and they could make a change? Sorry, we wheeled the wrong body out. You got to sue over that?
Well, she did say, that's not Dave, and they said, yes, it is. I think that's kind of too much. I mean, they know more than you're going to know.
According to the lawsuit, 80-year-old Otis Atkinson died on February 28th, leaving behind a wife of 56 years. And after his death, the family entered into a contract with the Harrison Ross Funeral Home and bought a suit for the funeral home to use for the viewing. The plaintiffs trusted that Atkinson would be treated with the highest professional standards and principles.
Always think that.
Required by the law. His viewing was set for April 7th, at least until Hunt realized the mistake. The family was extremely distraught, leading to confusing emotional distress, arguments amongst the family about why the wrong corpse was at the viewing. Why are you arguing with the rest of your family, and how is that the funeral home's problem? Look, I get it. They made a mistake. But if they fixed it, and it was before everybody else got a look at this guy, then, I don't know, no harm, no foul, right? I don't know. If I went to the funeral home and my mom's body, it was like somebody, I'd be like, yeah, that's not my mom. Can we swap? I'm not going to sue over it.
I don't get how that all happened, because you said he died at the beginning of February, and that viewing wasn't until April.
Well, they maybe had to do an autopsy or something. I don't know. The distress furthered when staff members at the funeral home doubled down on their assertion that the right body was inside the casket.
That's the part.
Allegedly changed their tune after she showed them a photo of Atkinson. Defendant then took the corpse to another facility, apparently took the designated suit off the corpse. Now that part, they put the suit that they bought for their dead uncle on the wrong body. That part I could say, all right, maybe can we get this? How about just give us the funeral for free, right? Because those things are effing expensive. All the casket stuff.
All the stuff. We bought the suit. You put the suit on some other guy.
I don't know if you need a lawsuit.
And then you said I was wrong when you were wrong.
This entire exchange took several hours, and by the time the defendant brought the descendant's body back to the viewing area, there was little to no time left for any viewing. So you just, I don't know, come back the next day.
No, you don't just come back the next day.
I don't know if you need to sue. That just people sue over the stupidest things.
Well, I don't know. What are they getting?
I mean, I'd be upset.
Everything for free and maybe some pain and
Yes.
suffering?
Bing, bang, boom.
What's happening?
Everything for free. This is all going to be for free. I don't need to file a lawsuit, a handshake deal, and then we're good. Lawsuit just seems...
I'm
like
telling
a bit
you,
much.
that is not my Uncle Otis. Yes, it is. Wow. No, it's not.
If you wheel the
Yes, it
body
is.
out and it falls out onto the floor and grandma keels over from the shock, it's a lawsuit. Wrong body for a couple hours? All right, whatever. It happens. How many bodies you got down there? Have you ever worked with a bunch of dead bodies?
No.
Yeah, neither have I. So how am I supposed to know what this funeral guy's job is like?
I don't know.
Got a bunch of people on the slab down there, and every once in a while, you can't be. Are you perfect? Everything you do perfect?
Absolutely not.
Me neither. Never
Mistakes
been.
are made.
Right.
However, if somebody
So-
from the family says, hey, that's not Uncle Otis, your response should be, yes, it is.
Well, that person maybe got let go. Maybe that was a front office
I'm
person.
telling you, it's not. I got a picture right here. You want to see? Yes, it is.
I don't know if I'm suing.
No, it's not. Yes, it is.
We're going to have a conversation about the free funeral and coffin and all that stuff, but I'm not suing.
And are you taking the suit off and putting it? No, you're getting me a whole new suit.
Well, no, that's what they did. They had to take them. Well, and those things they're rigor mortis, right? You know how hard it is to take a suit off a dead body? I don't. Maybe it's a several hour process.
Well, you're not taking it off and putting it back on. I'm getting a whole new suit. I'm not
It'd
wearing
probably be
the-
easier just to cut the head off and swap heads.
You're not doing that. You're really going to jail for like a long time.
I know. I'm well aware. What are you going to do? People make mistakes.
And then they get sued.
Bad news, happy music on Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Our daily check-ins coming up next.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com. Call.
Hello?
Email.
I tried emailing you.
Text. So many ways to check in with us. Check. We rely on you guys for traffic updates, requests, and all sorts of other stuff.
Check this out.
Rockmornings.com is the website with all of our contact info. You can also listen to the program live on the website. Like and subscribe to the daily podcast Register to win prizes. Workforce Wednesday tomorrow. Michelle Brand said fanny pack. Thank you. Rob.
Yeah, I don't know why
Rob
I couldn't
at the
think
beer
of
shop
that.
said
It makes
fanny
me so
pack.
angry.
Somebody else said fanny pack. Nikki with fanny pack. Bill said fanny pack. Thank you.
So many things. Should have.
Yeah. Whatever. I've got.
I got lots of meds.
Mucinex
right
and
now.
Advil. And just I got it all, man. It's all running through. Man, I'm about to take a blood pressure medicine. It's a scene, man. My whole body's like, what are you doing? Danny texted in and said, my aunt and uncle gave me a Mickey Mouse watch for my 5th grade graduation.
You got one for your 9th grade graduation?
I think, if I remember correctly, yeah. When I was going from junior high to high school. Yeah.
It was a Timex piece? Is that it?
No, and I think it was gold. It wasn't the traditional one where it's like the white back, the black numbers, and then Mickey's in full color. It was like all gold.
So they thought it was real. I mean, it was real nice.
Dude, I don't know. It was like my parents didn't even know who I was. Don't you hear me listening to all this heavy metal? Like, not really listening to Disney tunes in here, not watching the Mickey Mouse Club. MICKEY. Not so much. Doc texted in, said driving a 53-foot parachute is definitely challenging with these winds.
Yeah, that's what I was reading this morning. Be careful.
Also got a text from someone who said, knuckleheads in La Crosse and on Alaska can't figure out a straight line while driving a roundabout. There is going to be a bleep show. There should be, they should add bleachers and a beer cart so we can all watch the chaos. Yeah, I don't think that big roundabout out there is going to do any good. I think it's going to make it worse. It's already difficult trying to get through that intersection.
It is very difficult trying to get through.
And watching people from around here try to navigate
I think that might be better.
A 2-lane roundabout is...
It'll be better, I think.
I don't think so. Just avoid it. Go around. Thank you for the correspondence. Rain all day today. Windy as well. You can see the trees whipping around. Going to be rainy again tomorrow. So take that into account if you got to go anywhere.
Very rainy and constant all day today, all night.
Have a great rest of your Tuesday. We'll talk to you tomorrow.